All right, guys, we're going to react to a video from Clear Value Tax. This guy is the man. So we're going to check it out. He's going to talk about Trump's 48 hours. He's going to talk about Doge, tariffs, Bitcoin, and the ERS. So let's check that out.
In today's video, I'm giving you a status update on President Trump's initiatives. But of course, keep in mind that he's only been in office for 48 hours. And we're only reviewing financial items that we cover on this channel, which includes the Department of Government Efficiency, so Doge, the External Revenue Service, so the ERS, the Trump tariffs, and cryptocurrency. So let's begin with Doge. So originally, Doge was supposed to be an entity outside of the government. However, that has now changed. Doge is now officially a part of the US government. So I'm going to show you this video clip, and I'm going to explain what is going on.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as Doge.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented.
Okay, now I want to explain to you what just happened with Doge. So President Barack Obama created the United States Digital Service, the USDC. So the USDC is a technology unit within the executive office of the president. So Trump signed an executive order to rebrand the USDC into Doge. So essentially, Doge is replacing the USDC. So Doge is now an official government entity. And another Doge update is that Vivek Ramaswamy has now decided to leave Doge. So now it's only going to be led by Elon Musk.
Yeah, that's sad news, man. I really like Vivek. That's my boy. But, you know, there's rumors about him leaving because of this and that, and that's not for this video. But I wish him well, and hopefully he gets what he wants in Ohio. But that's a big deal that Doge is actually going to be part of the White House. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. It wasn't supposed to be that originally. Yeah, that's a big deal. Doge was not supposed to be part of the U.S. government or the executive office or the executive branch, and now it is. He's going to get 20 people in there. I believe I heard that they may not be getting paid. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, that's a big deal. So I'm going to be covering that a lot, guys, because again, the more money we cut off, the more fat that we cut off, because again, we're spending $7 trillion a year as a country, and we're only taking in $5 trillion. Now, he originally said he wanted to take off $2 trillion a year. He quickly found out that he probably can't do that. He may be able to do 500 billion to $1 trillion, which is still a lot. Again, the more and more fat they trim, the more and more Bitcoin they can buy.
Now, let's move on to the External Revenue Service, the ERS. So on January 14th, President Trump said that he will create the External Revenue Service, the ERS, on January 20th. So here's his post on Truth Social. January 20th, 2025 will be the birth date of the External Revenue Service. Okay, so on January 20th, did President Trump create the External Revenue Service? And the answer is no, he did not. Okay, now I want to tell you what's going on. Trump cannot create the ERS with an executive order. He needs congressional approval because that's required. So the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, so CBP, is the agency that currently collects tariffs. So Trump, he could try to rebrand the CBP as the ERS, but the current situation is, or I guess the way he's taking it, is that he's relying on Republican support in the House and the Senate to pass legislation creating the ERS. Now, let's talk about tariffs. I made a video 2 months ago explaining tariffs and Trump's proposals. So essentially, there are 3 categories of tariffs that Trump is saying that he wants to do. So the first one is the universal tariff. So he's saying that there could be a 10% to 20% tariff on all goods imported. So the second category are tariffs against our neighbors. So he's saying that there could be a tariff of up to 25% on all Mexican and Canadian imports, so goods and services. And the third one is tariffs against China. So these would be additional tariffs on top of the ones that are currently in place. Now, I want to give you an update on each one of these. And we're going to start with the universal tariff, the 10% on all imported goods.
Are you still considering a universal tariff, Mr. President, on all countries?
I may, yeah, but we're not ready for that yet. We may wrap it, because essentially all countries take advantage of the U.S.
Okay, so as you saw, President Trump said that we may do universal tariffs, but I'm going to stick to my prediction that he's not going to go through with this one. I gave my reasons and details why in my previous video. Now, let me show you the 25% import tax, the 25% tariff on all Mexican and Canadian goods and services.
Where are you thinking on tariffs on Mexico, given these actions you're signing on the border?
Well, we're thinking in terms of 25% on Mexico and Canada, because they're allowing vast numbers of people. Canada's a very bad abuser also. Vast numbers of people to come in and fentanyl to come in.
When do you think you would enact those?
I think February 1st.
Are you planning on giving notice of that?
I think we'll do it February 1st.
25% on both,
Sir,
On each.
on each.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it. That is the latest status on Mexico and Canada, up to 25% starting on February 1st. But the question is, you could tell me, but I'm going to stick to my prediction that he's not going to go through with this one. He's just using this Basically, it's a threat as a negotiating tactic. But again, you can let me know what you think.
Yeah, I agree with him. I don't think he's going to go through with it. I think he's just using it as a negotiation tactic. Again, if you read the book, The Art of the Deal, he likes to negotiate like that. And again, the Democrats and the idiots on the left will tell you that if he tariffs people, the prices are going to go up and stuff like that. I hope we do a little bit of tariffs. That way we can bring some more income into the United States of America. So again, just like before, I talked about decreasing spending. We can at the same time increase our revenues, right? With these tariffs. And I think that's a good idea because again, the less you spend and the more you make, the more Bitcoin you can buy.
Now, when it comes to China, the latest word is coming from President Trump last night, so Tuesday night. He's saying potentially a 10% tariff on all Chinese imports. So I'm going to show you the video clip. I mean, I've been saying that this is the one that's most likely to happen. I don't know if it's going to be a 10% just universal blankets on all Chinese imports, or if it's going to be more specific and more targeted. But you take a look.
We're talking about a tariff of 10% on China based on the fact that they're sending fentanyl to Mexico and Canada.
How soon on those tariffs?
Probably February 1st is the date we're looking at.
I love it. Either way, it's a win-win in my book, right? He's putting a deadline, basically saying, hey, guys, listen, if you don't stop this fentanyl coming into our country and killing our citizens, we're going to tax you. We're going to tax you right there at the border, right? Which is going to be a good thing, I believe. Either way, obviously, it would be better if we didn't tax them, didn't tariff them, and we got our citizens and made our citizens safe with no fentanyl. That'd be our number one thing. But if it doesn't happen and they keep sending it in, then we can bust them at the border. We can bust the fentanyl at the border, bust the drug dealers at the border, stop the cartels, and tax them so we can have more revenue to buy some more Bitcoin and also keep our citizens safe. That's the main issue, guys.
But I do want to mention this. So President Trump did say that he had a phone call with President Xi Jinping of China, and the phone call went well. He said it was a good phone call. So I don't know in terms of trade relations and how it's going to develop, but we'll see. Now, regarding Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, President Trump 100% delivered on his promises. So SEC Chair Gensler departed, and Trump created a new crypto task force on January 21st. So their priority right now is to develop clear regulations for crypto assets.
So yeah. So again, guys, when he's talking about crypto, I know he's talking about other crypto. I know he's S-coining right now, but he's mainly talking about Bitcoin. Again, I believe the SBR is coming sooner than later. But again, that's great news all around for Bitcoin. I really think it's going to be bullish. I believe these prices are going to take off sooner than we think. All right, guys, there's a reminder of why we're Bitcoin. And one of the main reasons we're Bitcoin. And look at the national debt, guys, in the United States of America. 36 trillion, 300 billion. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous, man. Debt per citizen, $107,000 for you doing what? Absolutely nothing. Being a law-abiding citizen, going to work and everything else. And if you die, and then when we die, our children have to pick that up, and then our grandchildren and all this other stuff. And this is why we Bitcoin, guys. And this is why we stack this right here. This is why we learn about it. This is why we talk about it. This is why I got the Bitcoin numbers and news show and the Satoshi Saturdays and all the studying we do and all that because of that debt right there, inflation and all this other stuff. Again, there's only going to be one way to stop this stuff, guys. And I think you guys already know what it is. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.